All right, everyone. This is a watch this video for Tuesday, January 8th, 2019. The SPY had another green day. Still not seeing a whole bunch of great intraday moves. I will say this, let me try to type that again. AXSM was a gap play this morning, and I gapped up here, and then when I had this kind of little hook pattern, right about there, JS. So if you weren't in chat room, JS, one of our members, put out the idea over 675, which basically you had the high, you had the lower high here, and his idea was over this 675 seller. The idea, if you think about it, you get the whole number 7, you've got red to green and high of day, so you've got 3 potential catalysts just above. I was surprised at how well that thing worked, man. It just ripped. So I just wanted to I'm not even going to have this on watch tomorrow because it ended up closing slightly above the open. I mean, you could certainly watch it, but I did want to highlight that great call by JS. Here's what I'm watching tomorrow. INSM. Wayne made a great late day call on this thing, but it ended up closing strong on big volume, so we'll see if it is going to give a follow-through day. I would note that it kind of closed right around the 200 day. You see that a lot. MICT. This one had this pop here, then a gap up, then looked like it was going to give it all back, then right about here a few days ago, looked like, okay, it's going to try to bounce. And then today you had this pretty nice pop and a pretty strong close. So maybe this one's ready to go a little farther. I'm not in love with it, but, that big move today, big move relatively speaking, was on 1.1 million shares. It kind of shows you how thin this stock is, but I still think it's worth having on watch. CGIX just had a quiet inside day today. I still like it. I like it over today's high, which was 41 cents. Look to the left, you've got 45 cents, which was Friday's high. And then maybe a little mini breakout in a test of this 68 cents it hit the other day or something. So it's a pretty clean setup. We're going to watch that one. BLPH. Strong volume today. I'll go to intraday to kind of show you. This had this big volume spike in the middle of the day and then really sideways the rest of the day. So I do want to watch to see if that one's going to continue tomorrow. It definitely had strong volume for that stock. ADRO is a little obscure, but had really big volume back here. Where it topped out at 329, and then just Friday topped out at 324. So it's certainly interesting over 324, and then today puts in that kind of inside day. So now to me it's interesting over 317, because then you might take down that 324, and then you might take down that 329 and break out, right? So that's one of those stacked catalyst scenarios I like, and pretty strong volume today. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. APHA has been trying to break out of this range. I'll take today's candle out of it. Zoom in a little bit. Let's throw a horizontal line on there just to kind of show what I'm talking about. Sort of a horizontal line. All right, anyway, you kind of had this after the gap down and then another gap down, then it bounced up to here, which the number was 659, and you kind of have, from that point, you kind of have a little cup and handle forming. And then today, trying to break out above that, decent volume today too. Topped out today at 647. So maybe we're going to get over today's high, get through that 659, and maybe up into this gap. It's a tough trader. I don't love this, but it is one of the lower price pot stocks, so we're going to watch it. Now listen, I put a few shippers on watch, and let me backtrack a little bit to show you why. Dry ships had a nice breakout today. Again, you can kind of picture a line right here, a trend line, and it broke out today. So dry ships, it was kind of a quiet breakout. I mean, look at the volume, 1.3 million shares. I noticed the breakout late in the afternoon and got interested in some of the baby shippers. So let's go back and look at PXS. You had this pop back here to 122, and it's kind of putting in, a few almost equal tops around 110. Let's see, today it topped out around 108. Certainly over 110. Maybe it's going to retest this high. And another baby shipper that I like is GLBS. I called this in chat today if you weren't there at like 334. There was a big seller on the tape. I figured with dry ships breaking out and this chart looking pretty good, it topped out back here on decent volume for the stock at 348. Today, right at the end of the day, it ended up taking it out and going to 353. I think the baby shippers are worth watching, especially with dry ships kind of breaking out. I'll probably have dry ships on a chart too. But the two baby shippers I'm going to be watching are PXS and GLBS. AKAO had this big pop on Friday. Today, a very quiet inside day. We're going to keep our eyes on that one. I do like it over today's high, which was 175. Maybe then it challenges 2 again, and that 211 high from Friday. We'll see. So we're going to watch that over 175. Let's see, where am I? HSGX had this monster day. This would have been, let's see, Thursday. It went from like 12 cents to 28 cents. I generally don't trade stuff under 50 cents, but this is kind of interesting. I mean, look at the volume on this day, and then you've got a couple days lower. So you're kind of flagging after this big pop that kind of started to go up into this gap. In declining volume for the next couple days. I do think this is poised for maybe another leg higher. We're going to watch it. BOXL was on watch today. Didn't give any kind of setup whatsoever, but after the big pop, you've got two lower highs now. If it turns back up, I really need to do it tomorrow before we get all the way to a round trip. Remember, it did have news on Thursday that got this going, so I do like this one. But I don't know. I don't love it. We'll see. We'll see. If it gives me a proper setup, we might get a good trade out of it. And then, excuse me, CCCL, it's worth noting that I believe the trade talks with China are happening this week. And so this one, it was a big mover about a week ago. CCCL went from 80 cents to $1.95, and then the next day actually hit $2.35. So that's a huge day and a half move. And then it's pulled in to the 200-day from above, kind of hit the 8-day on Friday. So, and then a very quiet day today. So maybe some China news could get this one to maybe come up and retest these highs. I do want to have it on a chart because CCCL can make big moves at times. And that's plenty to watch, and we'll add some gappers to this list as well in the pre-market. So that's enough for me. We'll see you all in chat tomorrow. Have a good night.